My name is Arpid, and today I'd like to talk to you guys about motocross. I've been riding for about 6 years myself, and I've ridden on legitimate motocross racing tracks and desert trails that they use for desert races, and those can be about 40 miles long. And before I get into my main points, which are going to be a little bit about the history of motocross, and then descriptions of two basic types of motocross, I want to talk about some misconceptions that a lot of people have about riding dirt bikes. The first of those is that riding a dirt bike isn't hard at all. A lot of people think that you just pick up a dirt bike, go out and be a decent rider on your first try. And anyone who's ever ridden a dirt bike before knows that it's actually a pretty uncomfortable experience your first time. It takes a while to get comfortable and takes even longer to get good. Another misconception is that riding a dirt bike is just sitting there and using your wrist muscles to make it go. And actually, motocross is one of the most physically demanding sports out there. Riders are maneuvering 150 to 200 pound bikes across tons of different terrains, bumps, turns, rocks, jumps. Definitely takes a lot of physical conditioning. First, about the history of motocross. Started in about 1924 in England. It wasn't called motocross at that time. The first races were called scrambles, and they were about 50 miles long, or they could get up to 50 miles long. And they took place just kind of in random trails across the landscapes in different areas of England. Bikes at this time did not look the same at all. It looked a lot more like bicycles with maybe bigger tires and engines slapped on them. About 20 years later, the French dubbed the term motocross when they combined their abbreviated version of their bikes, or the abbreviated version of their name for their bikes, with the cross-country aspect and distance of motocross races at that time. And the French also paved the way to modern motocross racing by shortening the tracks a lot and actually having the riders do several laps around one track. Since then, the bike's just been reinvented over and over again. Tons of new innovations have come out as far as exhaust systems, suspension, and even new types of engines that were invented. And with these innovations came a lot of versatility with the dirt bike. And with this versatility came a lot of new events and styles of riding that came out. So the first type of racing or motocross I want to talk about is track racing, and this is a really fast-paced sport. Multiple riders race around a shorter track, do several laps. There's lots of various terrain. Most of the time it's made out of the same dirt, but the dirt is formed into lots of turns, some really wide, some really narrow. Little dips that riders try to go really fast and just skim the top of. Big jumps and more technical things like sequence jumps. The main feature that's specific to racing is there are many riders on the track at a time. In the American Motocross Association, the regulations state that in the basic types of races, there should be about 40 people racing in the race at a time. And really, motocross racing is one of the harder skills to master. It takes a lot of technique to be really good and to be better than other people. Definitely a lot of endurance, especially with some of the races going for longer periods of time than others. And even the pros have a lot to learn based off their techniques. Second type of motocross I want to talk about is freestyle motocross. Basically, the structure of this is there's only one rider on the track at a time, unlike the racing and motocross. And this rider has a timed routine where he tries to do as many big jumps as possible, and while he's doing those jumps, perform as many tricks as possible. The rider actually has time beforehand, before the event occurs, to pre-plan his route and pre-plan on what jumps he's going to do different tricks. Basically, the style of a freestyle track is mishmash of jumps. All the routes are kind of crisscrossed, and some of these jumps can span distances of up to 130 feet. And this kind of sport definitely takes a lot of commitment, preciseness, and courage, because jumping 130 feet and then doing things on your bike while in the air can be very intimidating. Especially preciseness is important in freestyle, because the takeoff and the landing need to be exact, or a lot of bad things can happen. But overall, motocross is a pretty safe sport as long as practice good technique, make sure you know what you're doing, and wear the right protective gear. And I recommend that more people get involved in it. And thank you.